Only got $3,000 to invest? Let me show you how I'd stretch every dollar with a strategic plan, not a gamble. Yo, what is going on, Premium Chasers? I hope you are having a God-blessed day. Today, every single person that comments down below is going to get my recession-proof playbook that's going to show you how you can collect a premium income with an option-selling portfolio for yourself and all the strategies that you need to know to make that happen. So drop a comment. I will personally send you that playbook. And while you're down there, hit that like and that subscribe button. But today's video is coming from one of you guys on TikTok that asked, hey, how can we do this whole option-selling thing, right? If we don't have, six figures, right? Like, does it even still make sense to do option selling with a small account? So first and foremost, guys, whether you got $1,000 or $1 million, we treat this all the same. Okay, listen, if your habits that you build when you only have $1,000 are going to transition to you when you have $1 million. Okay, so you have to understand, the sooner you can build good habits, especially in terms of investing, the better you're going to be. At the end of the day, us as option sellers, yes, we're kind of like short-term investors because we want to collect premium and appreciation sales and all that good stuff, right? But at the same time, we want to be patient, right, and strategic in what we do. And if you could build those habits when you have a small account, they're going to transition to you when you have a big account, and you're going to be a beast. So today we're going to assume we have a budget of about $3,000 that we're willing to invest, and we want to start building out an option selling portfolio. So let's get right into it. So number one, I'm first and foremost, if I only have $3,000, more likely than not, I'm going to spread my risk across 2 or 3 companies. And then we're going to kind of walk through those 2 or 3 companies that I love that are cheaper. And it's not really going to require me to like put $3,000 into just one stock. You see what I'm saying? So bear with us. Bear with me today, guys. We're going to kind of go through a lot. And I'm going to also assume you kind of have a basic understanding of it, but also cover some of the basics of the quad option strategy and the wheel strategy. So if we have $1,000, my first stock that I'm going to go to is SoFi. Okay, SoFi is a stock that I absolutely love, and any stock obviously I talk about here, guys, go do your own due diligence. This is obviously just stuff that I would do. Okay, so right here I'm seeing SoFi. So right away I'm seeing, okay, it's $12.67. It's up a little bit today. Is it gonna be worth my time? That's where I'm just gonna go over to the chain and just start mapping things out, right? I like to just draw things out and map things out in my head to see if it makes sense, right? So let's go over to SoFi here. I'm gonna go to the trade SoFi options. I'm gonna click sell a put. For me personally, I like to go 30 to 45 days out. All right, so I'm gonna go 35 days out. What I'm saying here is I'm willing to buy 100 shares of SoFi, right, in 35 days at a price that I pick and collect premium income up front. Okay, so that's where you obviously have to make your own decisions on this. For me, I'm like, okay, I got this $3,000 budget. I need this to kind of like be worthwhile for me, right? And have a decent return with also like controlling my risk, right? I'll look at this 1150 and I'm like, okay, the delta is about a 0.25, right? That's a good spot between 0.20 and 0.30 delta. 0.20 to 20 to 30% chance of assignment. About 60 to 70%, 70 80% of nothing happening and the contract expiring worthless, right? So for me, I'm like, okay, let's take a look at this one. I'm collecting $37 up front today on the cash secured put. So let me put 37 right here. My collateral, right? That's gonna lock up about $1,150 of mine, right? So I'm gonna have to put that. So right there, I'm like, okay, that's juicy, right? I got a 3.22% return. Is that a little aggressive? It's a little aggressive, fam. It's a little aggressive, right? I'm just going to put my expiration as 35 days here, annualized return, all right? So, for now, I'm just going to leave this one, right? And we're just doing one contract. This is only if you're doing multiple. So if I just wanted to like put my whole budget into this, like I could say like 3. I just have it set to 9 right now from stuff I was testing, right? So right here, this is, for me, I'm like, okay, that's a little bit more of an aggressive play and an aggressive return. To make 3.2% on your money in a 35-day period is a lot, okay? Now, if you don't know what selling a put is, there's a couple outcomes of this trade, okay? Number one, if SoFi hits 1150, if SoFi hits 9, my $1,100 is going to be taken from me, and I'm buying those shares, right? So The second thing that can happen is if SoFi stays above 1150 in 35 days, my contract will expire worthless. My $1,100 will be returned to me, and then I can run the play again the following month, okay? And this is why I love selling options, guys, because, dude, I don't know the first thing about drawing on them candlesticks you guys love, all right? I don't know nothing about that. Listen, that's not me. I'm not a Picasso of the candlesticks. I'm a slow and steady turtle, all right? I'd rather trade 5 times a month than spend a day as a day trader glued to a screen till my eyeballs bleed. Listen, I got kids, I got priorities, I got golf lessons, I got fun stuff I'm trying to live my life and do, right? And work, right? So right here, 1150 is kind of like where I'm comfortable with on this one. So right here, I'm going to go back and I'm like, okay, so I got a little bit of a budget left. And I'm going to be like, okay, this is a little bit riskier of a play, right? Getting 3% return is definitely, you're starting to get into riskier territories, right? So for me, I'm going to be like, okay, what can I find that is a little bit less risky that I believe in long-term? This strategy always do long-term stocks in my opinion, right? So I'm going to go and check out Ford. Ford is one of my favorite companies to run the wheel on because we have a juiced up dividend. So if we end up having to buy the shares, at least I'm collecting like a 7% dividend every year plus doing cover calls. We'll get into that in a second. All right. So I'm going to go over to Ford now, right? And we'll go over to Ford. And I'm going to take a look at what kind of premiums we're getting here. So I'm going to go sell put. I'll keep my expiration date the same on this. And I like this because I'm spreading my recommendation when you grow your portfolio, things can kind of get crazy a little bit. My recommendation is to build your portfolio depending on your risk tolerance levels and then spreading your risk across like different sectors and stuff. Like that's kind of like really key in my opinion. Like don't just go out there and like I see a lot of guys will just dump all their money into like Nvidia and stuff. I'm like that's fine if you believe in it long term, but like in my opinion, like diversification is still important in this, right? So, for example, here with Ford, right, which is currently trading at 1032, I'm going to look at these 950s, right? So I'm going to open up the 950s and perfect, right? Hit the nail on the head between my 0.20 and 0.30 delta right here, and I'm collecting only $21. All right, so that's not bad. Let's go take a look here, right? So I'm just going to duplicate this real quick. I'm going to put $21 right here, and I'm locking up $950 from our $3,000 budget, and perfect. I got a 2.21% return on this as well, about 23% a year, per year. Now, obviously, that annualized premium, it doesn't mean anything. Now, you totally could do 10 trades a year with both of these and hit that. That is a possibility, but more likely than not, you're most likely sometimes going to get assigned and actually have to buy your shares, okay? But I like to look at this annual return when I do my when I close out my positions early. We'll get into that in a second. There's stuff that you got to go through this learning phase, and you'll get it all. Watch more of the content on the channel. Join our free Facebook group. All these calculators and stuff are in there for free, right? Everything here is free on this channel, unless you want one-on-one time with me, which I think we can all agree on is fair, right? So now I have Ford, right? So I like Ford. Me personally, I'm very bullish on Ford long term. It's a cheap stock. And how much exactly have I at? I'm at $2,100 in my budget, right? So let's go take a look at one more stock. So another stock that I love and I believe in long term is American Airlines, right? Up pretty big today. We'll get into that in a moment, but it's around 10.55. So I'm going to go over to our options chain. And I'm going to type in American Airlines here, and we're going to go over to our options chain as well. So we're going to click sell a put, and we will go out to our 35 days, and we could see what kind of premiums that we can actually collect, okay? So we don't have like a ton of cash here left, but let's take a look at these 950s right here. Again, for American Airlines, we're collecting $30 here, 0.24 delta as well. So let's see if I think we're going to go over budget by like a single $100. So maybe, let's see. So we're collecting, $30 on that one. Right, and our collateral is $950, right? Because of our share price right there, $950. And then we have our expiration in 35 days. So what is our total right now on collateral that we have? We are at $30.50. All right. $3,050. All right, you guys gonna give me the pass? All right, maybe. So one of you ain't. There's one of you that's just gonna drop your life story in the comments. All right, but like that's fine, right? Like I'm with you. All right. So $3,050 budget. Okay. So this is now where I would start looking at this. Okay, I'm not just gonna go and open these trades. I now just have a baseline overview of the situation, right? Am I willing to do this? Is this too risky for me, or is it not risky enough for me? This is where you need to make decisions for yourself, okay? And you have to figure out where you are in your life, right? So these are about like 2-3%. For me, with my risk tolerance, these would be trades that I would be comfortable executing with what the numbers are telling me. Because again, I'm looking at the purely just numbers on a screen right here, and that's all stocks are to me. I don't care about anything else. I look at setups and numbers, and that's it. That is quite literally it. So for me, looking at this, and not know if somebody showed me this, and I looked at it, and they said, Pete, would you take these trades? Like, would you do these yourself, right? And purely based on the numbers for my risk tolerance, I do like these, especially if it's only a $3,000 budget, right? Or $3,050, and then I'm collecting about $88 in premium on the trades, which is giving me about just about 3% across the board on average here. So for me, I like that. Now we can move these things around. Okay, you can move these things around. You can be like, you know what, maybe that SoFi one's too aggressive. Maybe I'll go down to 11s, take a little bit less premium. Okay, my return might be lower, but that it still makes sense. This is where you have to track everything you do, right? So for example, like let's say you are somebody that wants to hit between like a 1 and 2% a month premium return, right? And that's something that you have set for yourself. You probably wouldn't want to necessarily do a trade like this because that might not fit into your risk profile, right? While you're somebody that maybe is a little bit degen, you got that itch. You just got to scratch it, bro. Like you might be like, I need 4%. Like, so you're going closer to the money, right? You're playing with you're playing up here, right? Where you're collecting $64, right? So it's all dependent on your strategy and what you're looking out of this. So with that said, there are right times to do things and bad times to do things. And that is especially true when selling options. Now, timing the market is a fool's game. What I love about selling options is like, yes, of course, there are times and great setups to get into stocks, right? But sometimes we don't have time to wait, right? Sometimes we just want to open the positions and go, just like I showed you for these, right? I opened my positions and then I'm gone. I'm boom. My $3,000 is locked up for a month. All right, I'm logging off. I'm out, right? I'm done. Maybe I'll log on once a day for 10 minutes, see if anything happens to close out my positions early. But for the most part, I'm not babying this stuff. Like I'm really not, right? I'm going on and living my life, right? So with the next thing is there is a right time and wrong time. If you want to take it to the next level, because you can take everything can be taken to another level, right? And I genuinely believe that. So with option selling, right? Most of you, right? You'll probably just leave your stuff till expiration and whatever happens. The next level will be closing out your positions early and monitoring good setup and opportunities. I would say that's like intermediate level, right? Now that does require a little bit more timing on your part, right? But you're able to collect a lot more premium and get better share prices. What do I mean? Let me show you what I'm talking about, right? Right now, like if we look at SoFi, right, we go to the chart section here, and I just have my Bollinger Bands overlaid, which basically gives us a range that a stock is going to trade in. When it's towards the top, it means people are pouring into it. Everybody loves the company, blah, 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 right? And then if it's toward at the bottom, everybody hates the company. They don't believe in SoFi anymore. Sell that stock off. We don't like it anymore, right? And then in the middle is like everyone's like, okay, we kind of like it, right? So that's kind of how I like to look at it. And so right now you could see SoFi is right at 1267. Right now, this isn't a good time to necessarily sell a cash secured put. With that said, the return is still juicy, right? Like our return, it's nice, like what we saw here on our screen, but the setup isn't ideal. The best time to do cash secured puts is when the stock is trading towards the bottom Bollinger Band. But do you know what? Most of you and me sometimes, we scared. We so scared when it's at the bottom Bollinger Band because the world's coming to an end, right? Like we remember that those couple days at the start of April, right, where everybody was running scared, and SoFi hit 965, yeah, and like all those other companies that you love and you believe in, right, but that you're now buying when everything's rebounded, yeah, that time, you know what I'm talking about? Well, guess what? This is the perfect time to do cash secured puts, right? Because you could do cash secured puts here. It's at 950. Now we could do cash secured puts at like 8.5, right? Or 850, I mean, right? And collect a lot more premium on it, right? And the best part about it is, look at it. It was at 950. Let's say we had our 850s right here. We had our 850s. We had 850 cash secured puts, those puts that we did and said we were willing to buy it for 850. We were quite literally able to close those out a day or two later. We live in an amazing time right now for selling options that in normal market condition doesn't exist, right? I've never lived in my 7 years where selling options was this extreme, where you could get in and out of covered calls and cash secured puts in a matter of days. Now, to somebody that's more of that passive option seller, right? Maybe you have a full-time job. I don't want this stuff to deter you. Obviously, we all work and do stuff, right, during the day. You're not going to sit here on the screen. You might have missed that opportunity. How do we combat that? Well, there's a few ways you can combat that. You combat that with limit orders, right? My rule of thumb is if I capture about 80% of the premium, I'm going to close out my position. That frees up my collateral to run more plays. If you want more information on that, guys, make sure to comment down below. I'll send you over my recession-proof playbook. That's going to give you the best practices for this entire thing that I'm talking about and that I call the quad option strategy. And if you're somebody that wants a little bit more hands-on approach with me, I have a 1-year incubator program that if you want, again, more help setting up your option selling portfolio, the link will be down below if you want to learn more about that. Again, everything else here on this content is completely for free. All the calculators, tools, and the trainings you need to set this stuff up for yourself. So make sure you join the Facebook group as well. That link will be down below in the description of today's video. Guys, remember, sell options, collect premiums, repeat. I'll see y'all tomorrow.